The Senate Committee on Health, Education, Labor, and Pensions will please come to order. Thank you to all of our witnesses for being here to discuss a really important topic. On October the 7th, 2023, the world watched in horror as Hamas terrorists invaded Israel, slaughtered 1,200 innocent men, women, and children. Hundreds of victims, including babies as young as 9 months old, were taken hostage and subjected to abuse and torture. It should have been a time for unity, standing with the Jewish people against hate. Instead, for over a year, violence and anti-Semitic demonstrations rocked our country. At colleges and universities, Jewish students were harassed and attacked for who they are. According to the Anti-Defamation League, there were 1,200 reported anti-Semitic incidences on college campuses between 2023 and 2024, a 500% increase from the previous year. Instead of standing up for Jewish students, too many university officials failed to respond or refused to even condemn these horrific occurrences. Under Title VI of the Civil Rights Act, the Department of Education must hold universities accountable for failing to address discrimination against students on campuses. After October the 7th, the Biden administration refused to penalize universities violating Title VI. I led a roundtable to examine anti-Semitism on college campuses, attended by both Republicans and Democrats. It's disappointing that previous Democrat leadership refused to consider any legislation or hold even one hearing on this bipartisan issue. With President Trump in office and a Republican majority in Congress, the time of failed leadership is over. Universities have been put on notice. Failing to protect a student's civil rights will no longer be tolerated. If universities refuse to follow the law, to address discrimination on campuses, and to support Jewish students, then they should not expect the support of the federal taxpayer. Just last week, after pressure from the Trump administration, Columbia University agreed to change its policies and crack down on demonstrators targeting Jewish students. The Trump administration has launched investigations into 60 universities concerning allegations of anti-Semitic discrimination and harassment on campuses. These efforts would not have been possible without the strong leadership of President Trump and Secretary McMahon. Today, as chair of the Help Committee, I launched an investigation into the American Muslims for Palestine, demanding answers about their activities on college campuses. This group's leaders have ties to Hamas and helped create the group Students for Justice in Palestine. I also requested information from the Justice Department and several universities on these groups. We must continue to build upon these efforts. As we saw at Columbia last month, pro-Hamas activists continue to wreak havoc on campuses. Jewish students still feel unsafe to go to school. I led the Protecting Students on Campus Act, bipartisan legislation ensuring students know how to file civil rights complaints if they experience discrimination on college campuses. I look forward to considering this and other legislation in committee and on the Senate floor. Jewish students and their families are depending upon us to defend their civil rights. President Trump and congressional Republicans are committed to this. Thank you again to all our witnesses. I look forward to discussing how we can better discuss protecting Jewish students and ensuring a safe learning environment for all. With that, I recognize Senator Sanders for his opening statement.
Thank you very much.